Hey, John here. Just a heads up to anybody who's using display ads on websites. There's a plugin for that, and it's called Ad Inserter, and it's free. It's one I've been using for years. There is a premium version, which I do use on a few sites, so I'll set that out briefly in this video, what you get in addition, but for most publishers, the free version will do the job. All right, the reason you want to use this plugin is it gives you control over where you put ads in every page and post site-wide. You can even control it by categories. I'll show you that as well. What this means is you do not need to manually insert ad codes in every page or post. That would be crazy. If you're doing that, stop and get this plugin. This way you can control everything from one panel, which you're looking at right here, and make changes very, very quickly site-wide, whether posts or pages. So let's rip through this, and I'm going to show you why this is my favorite ad management plugin. I use it on all my sites with display ads. I'm in FatStacks here. I even use it in FatStacks because I use it to display various banners and notifications and so forth. So even if you don't use display ads in your site, this plugin could be very, very handy. All right, so let's just get right down to the basics here. If you're going to install it, you install it from just add plugins and type in Ad Inserter. You'll find it, and you'll find it this dashboard panel. Just go to Settings and Ad Inserter, and there it is, and it'll bring you here. All right, now if you have the free version, you're not going to see these additional blocks up here. That is one feature you get if you pony up a few bucks for the premium version. I would think generally most websites, especially if starting out, 16 ad blocks. Okay, what this means is these are ad positions on any given page or post, and that 16 of them will generally suffice for most sites. Now, I say that if you are using some sort of ad testing platform like Ezoic, and you want to test many, many ad placements and configurations, it's probably a good idea to get the premium because you will probably need more than 16 because you'll be split testing. All right, so one of my favorite features about this is a super simple feature, and that is how fast I can rip through it, okay? I don't have to create a new ad sort of like I'm creating a new post like other plugins do. And I've tried many, many ad management plugins, and this is the one I use. Look how quickly I can rip through different ad placements. So I can easily and quickly just create an ad, create another, and I'm pretty much done. Now I do tweak a few settings, which I'll show you below. You can change the title here so you can keep it straight so you know which ad you're dealing with. I do recommend you do that. It is good to be organized with this business. So if you use all 16, you can switch up to the next 16 and so on and so forth up to 96 blocks. I have never used all 96. Getting close because I'm doing some ad testing right now, some split testing, so I've loaded up quite a few. All right, another thing I really like about this is not only can you just insert ad code like your whatever AdSense gives you, but you can use HTML, PHP, and what I use quite a bit are short codes. If you have a short code creator, you plugin that uses various short codes, and you want to insert something there, maybe a poll or survey or something, or you want to create a custom link, you can put any of that in here and it works perfectly well. Scrolling down, once you've input your code, you will probably want to do a few settings. I'm going to step you through what I use in this plugin. I'm not going to step you through every feature. All right, one thing I do with everything is you want to determine whether you want it just to show up on posts or posts and pages. It will depend on your site. If you have a lot of content on pages, you probably want to click both. And then what you want to do is I almost always select one of these. You want to either individually disable it or individually enable it. And what the difference is by selecting one of these is when you go into the post itself, you'll have the option to be able to turn it on or off depending what you want. I typically will choose individually disabled, so by default, if I don't do anything, the ads will show up where I place it. But if you prefer to not have ads show up and individually enable on a post by post, then you would use that. So here's what that looks like in the post side. I'm at the bottom. You go into a post or a page, you go to the bottom, and here's your ad inserter individual exceptions. And you can see because I chose disabled, if I wanted to turn these ads off, I would just turn those off like that and save the post. So this gives you a lot of control if you wanted to do, a particular type of article where you don't really want to, you want to reduce the ads or you want to increase the ads. So it's this is a nice feature. Moving on, you can, I like this feature sometimes. I don't use a whole lot, but you can create a short code for the particular block that you're using and insert that somewhere. I don't typically use that. I think maybe once or twice I've used that. Really, I just let it, I set site-wide universal placements and leave it at that. So here's what you have to do. Okay, no matter what, you're going to have to choose something here if you want to insert it. And this is a really powerful feature of this because you have a lot of placement options. You can do it before the post, which would show up above the title. You do before the content, which is below the title but above any text or images in the post. Then you can dictate which paragraph it would be. You want it before paragraph 5, for instance. Or you can do it before and after images. You can do it after image 5 as well if that's what you prefer. And you can do it after the content or after the post. And as you can see, you have a lot more options. Between posts would be on an archive page. You can do it before or after comments, which can be a good placement as well. And if you have a footer section, you can do it there. So you have lots of nuanced placements to put your ads. Generally, what I use the most would be before the post, after or before paragraphs, and after before images. I pretty much restrict it to that for the most part. Moving on, this is another powerful feature that I like, is you can blacklist or whitelist categories. So you can whitelist and say, I want this particular ad unit to show up only in a particular category. You can click the box, it'll pull up the categories, and you just click it and in it goes. Or on the opposite side of the spectrum, you can blacklist a category, so ads will not show up on all posts that are that category. And you have the same for tags and any other taxonomies you set up. You can also do it on a post ID basis, so post by post or URL by URL, and URL parameters, which could be a group of URLs with a various parameter. So that is a very nice feature. I actually use that quite a bit, especially I typically don't go more nuanced than the categories. There'll be on some sites or categories I may want a specific ad. Like for instance, I will put native Amazon product ads on specific categories that tend to be more product oriented. Those are the features I use with this plugin. You can dictate, of course, category, pages, tag, home, and search. That's not every feature this plugin offers. You can definitely check out more. You can control it by devices if you like. There we go. Okay, so you can control it by various devices if you so wish. I don't typically do that too much, a little bit, but not a whole lot. And while there are more features, I don't use them. That's as much as I use. I keep it as simple as possible. And I just want to emphasize how quick this is, because if you're using another plugin, I found a lot of plugins take a long time to create a new ad. You got to do all the setup, and then you got to save it, and you go get kicked back out, and then you got to create a new ad, and you get, it's sort of like creating blog posts, whereas this is all in one fluid screen here, and it's so easy to manage. If you're using display ads, even if you're not, and you need to place banners or anything within your site, Ad Inserter, in my view, is the way to go. And definitely just start with the free version, see how that works for you. In all likelihood, that will be sufficient.